Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm Chris.
And this is our episode for October 17th, 2021.
Loose puck, high slot, Val score! His first career goal here in the WHL. He grabbed that puck. What a save by Matthew Keeper, going post to post and a stick save to Rob Smallwood on the open net.
Well, Chris, not exactly what we were hoping for this week in terms of wins and losses, but we're not going to freak out. It was actually, it was some decent efforts from the team, especially the Friday game. So 2 games against a very good Winnipeg team, kind of coming to the top of this young season so far as a leader in the WHL. So we knew it was going to be some tough tests. The Friday game, well, I guess over the weekend, the main thing that, not to be cliche, but it's to play the full 60 against a team like that. If you let your foot off the gas, they're going to take advantage of it. So we saw, well, I'm going to use saw in quotation marks because I didn't get into the building to see the first 2 goals on Friday in time for that. It's another topic, but so they obviously came out to a bit of a slow start on Friday. Winnipeg got 2 quick ones within, 4 minutes of the game start. And Regina honestly played, I would say, their best hockey we've seen this season thus far. They really played well on the Friday, minus that few minutes. And that was the difference, though, was those few minutes that they didn't have their head in the game just yet. It's not taking away the goals from Winnipeg. They were nice. But, overall, the Friday game, like we were saying, well played. They were hard forechecking. They were making Winnipeg make mistakes, which was interesting to see. Winnipeg was either feeling the pressure or what, but there were some errant passes on their part. Looked like sloppy play, but sometimes sloppy play is a byproduct of good pressure from the other team. Not what we wanted, but not totally unexpected either in terms of results. What were your feelings on these games?
Well, I'll maybe counter that with not what we wanted, but we did want to see a good effort because we knew wins were going to be tough to come by this weekend. So, the Friday game, I was pretty happy with it as well. Like, I tuned in a little late and it was 2-0 already. So I missed the first few minutes as well. And you look at the third period, like they were in it. They were down 1 goal. They had the balance of play, I think, for the most part in the third period, like pushing for the tying goal, and they just couldn't get it. And then they get the empty netter, and then that's that, right?
You're right. And
you look at even through the first period and second, end of the first and into the second, they outshot Winnipeg. It was couldn't get anything really going on the power play, though. That was the tough part. And Winnipeg's power play, you see in both games, is lethal. It's it's pretty damn good there.
You're right. And we did say at the end of the last episode we were hoping for some good effort and good play, and we did see that this weekend. Both games, you're right. The first and second in Winnipeg were good. It was competitive. It was actually 2 pretty fun games to watch. The Friday, especially being in the building. The crowds aren't huge in terms of numbers yet, but it was a good crowd in the sense that it was reactive.
Good vibe.
Yeah, there was good energy. There was good, they were into it too, and there was lots going on. Right, it was 2 good teams playing well. Mm-hmm. We had some fights, big hits. It was a fun game to be at. Kind of went right down to the wire. The sad thing is, it was a bench minor that was the difference, right? We had the too many men penalty, and then they scored on that power play, and that was the difference in the end of that game. So it's too bad, it's one of those, just a team mistake or something, coaching, who knows, but no one really to place any blame. It wasn't like a chintzy penalty or anything. It was it's kind of a too bad, but yeah, that was a really fun game. And then you're right, they came out on Saturday, and it feels like we're always playing from behind, but
yeah, I know. I tuned in late, and again, a few minutes in, it was already 1-0. I was like, geez, I got to tune in sooner, because every time I flip on the game, they're down. Like, they scored 55 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
And, but you got to give them credit. They battled back, and it was 2-2 at the end of the first. And,
Absolutely.
The shots, I hit 16 shots that period. But then compared to the Friday game, the Saturday game, they really lost the train at the end. They had, it says here, no shots on goal in the third period on Saturday night. Like, that's...
I did see somewhere where it was corrected to 2. I don't know where I saw that, but
okay. Either way,
2 or 0 is not...
Winnipeg has 14 for the third period, and you could tell they were dominating the third period. The Pats had just run out of gas, and
the wheels fell off in the third.
Yeah, it was tough to see.
Which was too bad, because, they were keeping up with them. And like we said, a very good team, good Winnipeg team, and that's the effort it's going to take to... It's nice to see them keep up with them with that effort, and if they can continue that, they should be able to beat or keep up with... they could win any game if they play as well as they did on that Friday, at least. Just they have to play the full 60 and not get behind too early.
Yeah, exactly.
But that means there's also, like you said, some good room for improvement here, especially on the power play. If we can get that going, that would be nice. We were 0 for 8 for the weekend. So that's not...
Yeah, I think a couple of those on Saturday, I think, were shortened because there was some crossover.
They were. But they did have
penalties.
5-on-3 time.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, so...
and I don't know, I think the biggest thing is Bedard needs to get going. Like, we're not blaming it on him or anything, but he drove the bus last year, and he's just a little snake bitten these last couple of games. I know you mentioned that he needs to hit the net a little more. It looks like he's missing the net.
He's missing the net
quite often. Just gripping the stick, trying to be get that fine shot in, top corner or whatever. But yeah, and I mean, I think maybe once he gets going, that'll help the team totally, right?
It'll change the dynamic of the team. You're right. I think he's a young guy. It's probably getting his head a little bit now too. You're right, gripping the stick, and it's like a pitcher, right? Just his location is just a bit off because, man, he misses the net a lot. But he had the rest of his game is there. There was a chance there in the Winnipeg game at Winnipeg. He again, like, it was almost a coast to coast, and he got through. And everyone knows he's going to do that, right? And they couldn't stop him. He got in, not a clear cut breakaway, but he got a good, fairly clean shot off, and missed the net, and power play is missing the net. So
I don't know. We were talking in our group chat with Kevin there. Maybe they need to switch up the lines a bit here, right? Like, he had some good chemistry with Dubinsky in the preseason, and they haven't been together the last few games for sure. So
I'd really like to see them playing together in these next few games.
Because that carrier line, I've really liked them lately. They've really done
them,
quite well.
Like, it shouldn't be, okay, so a team, like, say a line like that is doing well, it shouldn't be, okay, now you graduate to the Bedard line. If that line's good, keep them together. And, and like, don't break up that chemistry. You need some chemistry right now because it's not gelling with whoever Bedard's with, so leave them.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's up to the coaches. They get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
We're just the armchair GMs.
Exactly.
So
it was, and give Winnipeg credit though, man, they have some talent on their team. Boy, they have some very highly skilled players, and
when you talk about
16,
Benson, man, he looks real good for 16, right?
Yeah.
Like, he looked even good last year as a 15.
Mm-hmm.
You knew he was going to be a player this year. It was like, yep, then he's showing it.
Yeah.
But they've got so much talent around him that he can. I mean, but he's still playing top minutes, peak PP1 and stuff. It's not like they're shielding him, third line minutes against the other team's third line kind of thing.
Right.
He's getting full go. So
yeah, definitely a good team. They moved up to 7-0 now. They won today as well, so they're rolling. And we were just saying before this, we got to find out and mark on our schedule when they play Edmonton, because I think that'll be a good game. But overall, not bad. We weren't really necessarily expecting a win. We saw some good efforts. We can see the room for improvement that they need to work on. So I guess I'm okay with it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's now we're looking at though 4 games left in the month, and I'm saying they need to win 3 of these 4 for me to be feeling a little more confident. So they have the home and home with the Blades coming up this weekend, and then a home and home with Swift Current. And Swift isn't the pushover that they used to be, but I feel like I think we need to get back on track and win 3 out of 4 of those.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think 3 out of 4, maybe 2 would be nice, but
no, I don't want nice. I want to be a better team than nice. I want to start taking those steps, and I think that's it. Is winning a series, and then a split's fine. So
yeah, splitting Saskatoon, beating Swift. I don't know, or either way, but yeah, no, for sure. Like you're already in the hole with this. What is it? 6-game losing streak now.
We're
right?
we're at 7 games? We're 2-5.
Oh, 7. 2-5. Okay, yeah, so 5-game losing streak. So
yeah, we need to get this ship righted. In my
right,
opinion.
You look at what year was it? 2 years ago. There, they had the pretty rough start, but then they played good after that. Right, they were 2-10 or something. And then if you cancel that out from the record, they had a pretty decent record after that. So the sooner they can right the ship, the sooner they can push for that playoff spot that they want to get to. Right.
Yeah. So speaking of which, they did take some steps to maybe get this thing back on track. So goaltender, we talked about it last week, was a bit of an issue. Keeper's playing fantastic, but he's young. He's going to need some reprieve. So to be honest, Welke wasn't looking like the guy that was going to give us the best chance at winning. Just from what we saw through preseason, just wasn't there. I think he had a pretty high goals against averages in the 8s or something like that. So, and then it sounded like Keegan Maddox, who had picked up for Carter Massier, injured, but then was traded. So he was traded to Kamloops for an 8th round pick. He was on the week to week, or
he was week to week.
Yeah, so not looking like he was going to come back anytime soon, but managed to pick up an 8th round pick for him. And then we brought in Sim from Vancouver for a 2024 4th round pick. He's an 18-year-old. He was 5-2 last year with the 3.2 goals against average. And he started the game in Winnipeg and, in my opinion, looked fine. For just getting here and maybe selling with the team. There was no, none of the goals were really his fault, to say the least. And there were some good goals, and I wouldn't have hung any of him solely the goals on him. So seems to be, through one game, at least a nice backup so keeper can get some rest.
Yeah, definitely. It's a guy you can even, I don't know, I'd say split time with, but you can have some confidence in, playing more than just, say, a backup role, right? Because keeper, like you said, isn't. I don't know if he's going to play the bulk, or is it going to be 60-40 kind of thing, or what, right? But I think there's a guy you can have some confidence in, and like his numbers last year were pretty decent as a 17-year-old. So
yeah. So that's kind of a bit of an issue solved. Now we just got to move on to scoring. I don't know. You're thinking change up the lines. Oof, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is sometimes luck. They started to get some of those bounces in that game in Winnipeg. They got a few. We had to listen to the home feed, so they were thinking they were total Chintzy goals. They weren't that bad, but One
Well,
was
the
from
Nyhoff one, like from behind the icing line, like that was
Yeah.
total on purpose. It's not like he fluked that in. Like he was shooting to bounce it off the goalie, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he was trying to shoot it out to the blue line or something, right?
It was just like in the game here, it felt like we couldn't get a bounce, and we were hitting posts and everything. So it was nice to get a few of those ones that you wouldn't have expected on the Friday. So
Yeah, definitely.
they got a week of practice here, settle in and figure some things out. I don't know. I'm hoping to split with Saskatoon. I mean, we're tied for last place right now, so let's go.
Yeah.
I want to climb these standings a bit over these next couple of weeks.
Definitely. And I think one other thing that we talked about last week was the McNutt trade.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen why that happened with the weekly report this week. Johnson's out indefinitely, and maybe you can add some of that.
Yeah, so I was alone at the game for the Friday game, so I kind of walked around and was sitting in some different spots, and I went and sat up behind the net, and Johnson, poor guy, they made him walk. He was with who was he with? It would have been Easton Armstrong.
Michaels,
yeah. They sit way up in the top, and they make poor Johnson walk up, and he's got a full brace on. From my limited sports knowledge, injury might be something like a torn ACL or something along those lines. I'm not sure. He looked pretty sore though, so may not be seeing him around the next little while for sure. So yeah, I mean, addressing that issue and getting a fairly decent replacement for him, giving up some potential goal scoring, yes, but I don't know. I guess that's the decision they had to make.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate because he's a solid D-man, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, anything around the league you want to talk about?
I don't know, I think, speaking of Swift Current coming up in a couple weeks, kind of a surprise announcement.
Right.
That Dean Brockman, the head coach and GM, had stepped down.
Yes,
so
he did.
A lot of people were like, oh, well, maybe, there's something, maybe there's an opportunity, but I haven't seen anything mentioned that he's jumped on with somebody else yet or not. So, it's kind of interesting timing there, early in the season, and he's on the way out.
Yeah, it is odd timing. I agree. That makes me wonder, what was going on there. But, to wait. He's been there for a while, so anything that was going on before too. So to wait like a few games in and then decide, but who knows?
I know there was lots of rumors about when the longtime equipment manager got let go a couple years ago. There was some player rumblings about that, and there was some player rumblings about this announcement that didn't happen soon enough. So
yeah,
take that what it is. But I don't know, some players weren't happy that he's gone. So
yeah. Otherwise, looks like Edmonton's gonna try and make a push this year, starting to pick up some pieces. Luke Prokop from Calgary over to Edmonton. So they could be the team out of the Central if we get to do.
I think so.
Yeah.
Them and Winnipeg seem to be the top two teams in the East here, like you said.
So far,
see, maybe catch one of their games coming up.
It looks like Sillinger might be staying up for a few games. I'm thinking
he'll probably get his 9 or whatever, right, and then see what happens.
Yeah. Did he score a goal? He was.
I think he had an assist.
Assist, a point. Yeah, that's what it was.
In the first game.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And just saw today. I was a little late on the Twitter, but Jake Lesishin had his first game with the Knights as well. So that was awesome.
He got on the score sheet with a 2-minute tripping penalty. That was it. I went back after just to see, if he scored an assist or got something, but no, just 2 minutes. So.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
I think that's about all I've got. Yeah, that's about it. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we will hopefully get a couple points out of the Blades this weekend. Again, not a terrible week. Sure, we didn't get get the wins or any points, but some really good effort. And I'm not typically one to say, oh, it's a moral victory. That's great, but this was kind of, this one would register as a moral victory to me.
Yeah, you had to see some improvement from the last Winnipeg game, right?
Yeah. So, like Paddock often said, what is it? When things are bad, they're maybe not as bad as they actually are, and when they're good, when they seem good, they're not as good. So when you look at it, yeah, we're what, 2-5, 3 of those losses are against Winnipeg. It's maybe not as bad. We have some time here, turn the ship around, get things back on track, and yeah, hopefully get some points this week.
Yeah, they're there for the taking this week, I think. So
I think so.
If we're not picking up a lot of points in these next 2 weekends, then we got some issues, right?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, have a good night, and we'll see you at the rink.
Talk to you later, folks.
Patscast is a proud member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. If you're interested in other homegrown podcasts with a wide variety of topics, check out saskpodcastnetwork.com.